All right. What up? What up? What up?
Hey, how's everybody?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
I gotta figure this out. Let's see. I gotta let all these people in. Lord have mercy. All right. Welcome. Skipping it a second for people to jump on before we get started.
Oh, oops.
I'm on the app and I do not like the layout right now. Make sure there's nobody else to let in. Give it a couple more seconds before we get started.
I need some sun.
Man, what?
I look green. Okay, that's better.
Asia, Talisha. I think we almost have everybody. All right. Oh, Nicole. I'm using the Zoom app and I just do not like, the view. There we go. There we go. Tripping. It was giving me like this weird view, but I just fixed it. Okay. All right. I think can go ahead and get started. Hey, ladies. Welcome. Today we're talking about, sorry, my light is super bright. You Make It Feel Like Christmas by Toni Shiloh. Our December book club selection, short, quick, easy read. I think the audio for me was like 3 hours. I finished it, started it and finished it on Christmas Day. What were y'all's general thoughts of the book?
It was cute. It was so cute.
Yeah, I felt
I
like
liked it. I thought it was really cute.
Yeah, same. And I didn't realize that it was Christian fiction when I selected it. Like I started, well, I mean, I noticed that there was a lot of mention of like God and stuff throughout the book, but then in like looking more into Toni Shiloh, and I actually follow her on social media. She's big on Threads. She posts a lot there and I follow her there, but she's always posting like Bible quotes and things like that every day. But I didn't put two and two together and realize that she's a Christian fiction author. It's probably my first Christian fiction read.
Nice.
I didn't think
Surprisingly enjoyed it.
Oh, I
It was
was.
Go
Oh,
ahead,
go
Jeff.
ahead, Nicole. Oh, well, I
I
was
was
saying
like,
I didn't feel like it start. I felt like it was like halfway through before
It
it
really
really.
picked up.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it picked up on the Christian thing, like the prayers and stuff, like the very beginning.
Yep.
But then when they were in the apartment or something and they started kissing and they were like, we should leave. And I was like, I mean, what's going on?
like,
Right.
where you going? Where you
Yeah.
going?
Yeah.
I said,
As I said, towards the end, it really started to pick up. Yeah, I agree.
they were like, we should leave before we go too far. And I'm like, that's what we read. It's
Right.
Like,
You want some trash?
right.
Well, I love that it was in DC. I'm in Maryland, so it was back in my neck of the woods. So I was like, "Ooh, yeah, that sounds interesting." And I've never been to the Christmas lights. So hey, it might be something to do. And I've never gone to the Gaylord for the ice thing, but it's on my to do next year.
That's cool. Close to home. That's really cool. I love books like that when some talk about Atlanta and things like that. That's cool. Any other general thoughts?
That sister got on my last nerve.
I was
Listen,
like, I'm gonna let somebody else say it.
Ooh, is
listen.
it Angel?
Because I wanted
Yes.
to send Angel
Oh,
back to heaven. I was like, you can just go on.
The entitlement. I was just like, good God, get over yourself.
yeah.
Everything was
that
just
was
over the top.
that was one of the comments to my family was like, I said, I was talking about Christmas at Christmas. I was talking about the book, and I said, I just don't feel like that would have been a black family.
I had the
Like,
same thought. I was like, you
like
don't do that.
you took my man, and then I'm in your wedding. No, that doesn't happen in our families.
Right.
But it was cute.
But it was the second book I read in 23 with that same like plot
Really?
point. And I
Yeah.
was like, is that something new? I was
Yeah.
like, no, we don't need to keep doing this.
And it
With
was
the
a
whole
black. It was a black one too.
yeah,
Yep.
it
I was gonna
was
say, what book was it?
for 1 week only.
Yeah, that was it. That was it.
For
Yeah.
one, oh,
And it's a
But for
really
1 week
good
only was
yes.
way more spicier than
Oh
this.
yeah, it was way spicy, but it had the whole
I was like,
sister's
let me be clear.
boyfriend thing.
But
For
stop
1 week
it,
early
too
was the
hard.
it's the
Right.
worldly
Don't come
version.
into this book expecting Christian fiction because you're not going to get it.
No, not at all. Because that 1 week was so weak, I tell you. I recommended it to all my girlfriends. I was like, you looking for a beach read? Here you go.
I read
That
that
was
book
good.
in a day. I couldn't put it down.
Wow. I have that one on my list to read.
Yep. Erica recommended that one. I read her review of the book we just read. We got to talking about the sister. And she recommended the 1 week. What is it called?
Only
For 1 week.
Only for the
Oh,
week.
one
Yeah.
week.
yeah. Oh, the
Yeah.
something
I've
like
seen
that.
a lot of people recommending that book just in different forums and things like that. Like it's been circulating. So I'm like, all right, let me bump this up on my list.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah,
it's
I ended up reading it because I kept seeing so much on Bookstagram. And so when I wrote my review, that's when Keela said I was a smut dealer. She read it based off
not a
my
smut
review.
dealer.
And
And
I
I was
will
like,
admit,
keep
I
bringing this
didn't
back.
skip the pages because y'all, for those of you that know, I skip spicy scenes if they're too sticky and icky. But I don't think I skipped hers because they were pretty good.
That's good.
And I
Smut
went
dealer.
down a smut tunnel from there on. I was like, oh Lord. And I am starting off the year with more of it. I was like, no, where's the garden within? This is
Oh, this has.
I want the smut, Erica.
Well, let me tell y'all, I know we're supposed to be talking about this Christian book, but I read some smut the other day that it blew my mind. I've never read anything like this. It's a two-part series, and I read the first part months ago. But the basic premise is that this woman signs up to be a sugar baby, but she's not intimate with the sugar daddy, and they're black. But and it's maybe like an 80-page book, but by the end of book one, sugar daddy takes her to Pound Town. Like she is crazy in love, and the scenes were hot, hot, hot. And I was like, oh, child. So I didn't know there was a second book, and somebody mentioned it to me on Bookstagram, and I read it the other morning. I shouldn't have read it that early in the morning because wow. So the next book, her cousin becomes a sugar baby, but the cousin is bisexual, and she gets picked by a married couple on this sugar baby website because the wife used to be a sugar baby and now she wants her own. And when I tell you they turned this girl every which way but loose, they was doing stuff to her in a Mediterranean restaurant while they was feeding her grape leaves and but I never read nothing like this. I gave it 5 stars though because I was like, well, damn.
Okay, what is this series?
Right. What's the name?
It's called, I think it's called Sugared and Spiced. So I just read the second book, Sweet Heat, and the author's name I'm pretty sure is Lady Marie. I'll have to find the name of the first book because I think I read it like maybe like August or September, but the series is Sugared and Spiced. So if y'all, once you finish the Christian fiction, if y'all want to hop over there.
I mean, Christians get some too.
Listen, right.
Not in the Mediterranean restaurant, but
And not in this book.
Maybe.
it
They
was
just
a
don't write
different
about it.
vibe.
That
It was
is
good.
hilarious.
I thought it was smut done well. Like I said, I'm not a fan of erotica, but I think she does it very well, particularly because age gaps can be a little creepy sometimes, but she doesn't make it seem like a dirty old man. She
Yeah.
doesn't give you that vibe at all. Because in the second book, the sugar daddy, I think is like in his late 40s, something like that.
Yeah.
We'll add those to the list. Very interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good book. You know, a lot of the time when I'm reading books, I'm neutral. I'm not on one person's side, but on this one, I was always on Star and Waylon's side. I just think they're the perfect romantic duo, and I cheered them on as they like faced obstacles and went through doubts, and you know, I just always was rooting for them at like every time that they faced something, you know, that stopped them in their tracks.
Yeah, I definitely found myself rooting from them from the beginning when they, first made contact and saw each other. You could see that chemistry, especially on his end, was there from the jump. Yeah, it was just overall just a really cute book. I always like romance. To me, I hate when it gets typical and you know what's going to happen. It's like we either hate each other or we're fake dating, and then all of a sudden there's something that we stop talking, we get mad at each other, we go months, whatever. And I'm happy that there wasn't that, like some big plot where they stopped talking or got mad or he did something wrong, she did something wrong. So I really appreciated that about the book. It was just like nice and simple love story. This is what obstacles in our course, what the biggest thing was, her job and what she was going to do with her future. So but nothing that too big that they couldn't overcome. And I think he was willing to travel to her too, I think, if she had decided to do that. So I did enjoy that there wasn't that moment where there's going to be a pitfall and something happened. So that was pretty cool. It was my first Toni Shiloh book, so I really enjoyed it. It was a good, nice, light read for Christmas
Yeah.
to wrap up.
I don't know if you talked about him yet, but how many people wanted to beat? I think his name was Andrew. How many people wanted to beat Andrew up?
I was just about to say that
Oh,
when he
the
walked in the
fiance?
bookstore, and he walked in that bookstore, I want him to take him out.
Ashton or something.
Yeah.
Ashton. His name was Ashton. Yeah.
Oh, Ashton.
Yeah, I wanted to fight him too.
Oh, when he's like, she's not really wifey material. But I really think that he did think she was wifey material because there were so many comments he would make where he was like, oh yeah, she used to do that, or she likes this. And I'm like, you paid attention to these details and these things that you still recognize and know about her. But yet I think he was just trying to down her to Waylon so that he would back up off her because he could see what was coming and, that there was feelings brewing between them. So he was going to say anything to put a halt to that. So I feel like he actually was probably more interested in her than his actual fiance.
I found it interesting that he was like, she's trained. And I'm like, Angel seems like a Spitfire. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I was kind of shocked about that part.
But not towards him though. It was like she was a Spitfire with everybody else.
Yeah.
But she was all tame and prim and proper around him.
Yeah. She's a spoiled brat.
Yep.
And I'm like, can somebody put her in her place? A parent, somebody like
somebody.
Is
the mama got on my nerves too. Everybody got on my nerves.
They did. Like, why you want to go on a date with us? Why?
Right.
I told you it's a date. Why you want to go?
The mama.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, can you stay
car?
down? Guess it was the Christian thing to do, chaperone.
I don't like the way the mother, I guess, and the father too, how they accepted this guy into their family or their fold, knowing what he did to their other daughter. I thought that was creepy.
Good point.
I didn't understand why the mom wasn't mad at him.
Yeah, either one of them. It's like if he did that to the other daughter, do you really think that he's not going to flip on your on the other daughter, on this
Yeah.
Angel. That part was crazy to me.
I think the mom tried to downplay it because I remember her saying that she never brought him around, so she didn't think that their relationship was that serious. So I'm guessing that was the stance that she took. Not condoning it, but I think that's why she felt like it was okay for the sister to now be dating her ex. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. That's
Yeah, I think I guess it goes back to my thought about like the makeup of the family. Because at some point I had to say, wait, is the daddy deceased? Because why? Like he didn't show up much, but I felt like there was no way I would have that my dad wouldn't
My
have
daddy would have put him to
tolerated
the
that.
side. He would have had a lecture so long he would never want to see me again.
Absolutely.
He only cared about that bank. That's all that.
That's it. And I think
Care
that I
about the
guess
bank.
I was like, well, maybe that's why she wrote him kind of absent, because he seems to be pretty absent. Like the bank is everything.
Yeah.
Because I felt like he didn't show up much. They mentioned him a lot, but we didn't really see Daddy much, huh?
Yeah,
In
he was just working.
Well, they said he was working, but in the comments that I read on the book, somebody said that they thought he was having an affair.
In the Christian book?
Well, everybody that's a Christian ain't so Christian-y.
Listen, that is hilarious. I didn't expect that comment. That was wow. Wow.
Well, I'm glad I liked it because Toni Shiloh likes my review on Goodreads.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad I didn't say anything crazy.
I've had a couple authors like my negative reviews, like to let me know they saw it, I guess. And I'm like, oops. Sometimes I'm hesitant, like if it's a Black indie author, I don't want to extinguish their fire for other readers. Because it might be that, like, for me, I'm a grammar Nazi, so I struggle with typos, and that'll throw me off. And it doesn't mean it's not a good story. Or sometimes it's like urban fiction, and that's just not my thing anymore. I've outgrown it, so I don't want to discourage other people too. But sometimes it's so ridiculous. I just write what I think, and I've had maybe 3 times where I've written a negative review and the author likes it.
But in your negative review, do you say that the grammar was too much so that maybe they could fix it next time?
I do. I comment on it. Like I just DNF the book because I can't stand when people say rather when they mean the word weather. And they did that in a book and I couldn't get past it. I kept reading and reading and the story just was not getting better. It's called Black People Don't Ski. And it sounded like such a cute concept. I was trying to fight to read this book and it just kept getting worse. And so I end up going on Goodreads. I DNF'd it, but I put in there exactly why. But I do say like I've read a book where one of the characters, she just changed the spelling of her name halfway through the book. Things like that I put in my review.
Yeah.
Right. Minus the book we don't talk about by Sister Soldier. That's the only book that I publicly will blast everywhere as being god awful. But I try, if I don't like a book, then I won't post it. I don't think I'll post it to Book Girl Magic, to any of my social media platforms, just because when I have such a huge following, somebody else may like it, you know what I'm saying? Or they might just like a different type of book than I do, a different genre, whatever floats their boat might work for them and that might not work for me. So I try not to blast too many.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody say they like that book. I couldn't even make it past the first chapter.
Weren't we arguing with somebody that said they like that book? I feel like we had a discussion with that recently. Where it was something because what was
on your
it?
TikTok, I know something happened.
Yeah, that's what it was.
TikTok.
I was like, I know we were talking about it somewhere, and that girl came on there and was like, I don't see how y'all don't like it, and I'm like, dude, she literally had sex with a dog. Like, I don't understand, and that right alone should be like DNF, throw in the garbage, be done with it. And she was going back and forth about, well, everybody's entitled to their own opinion and what they like. And I said, you're exactly right. And I'm entitled to my opinion of disliking this book. So there you have it. And that's pretty much how the conversation ended. Cause I was like, my point exactly. I'm entitled to feel the way I feel as you are about the book. So
That was Sister Soldier's cousin.
had to be. It's so funny. I was reading something and she was mentioned in the book. Oh, it was When Crack Was King. She's mentioned in the book, and I just like every time I hear her name, I'm like, oh, she did, she's an advocate and thing like that. But like,
Was that a good book?
It's very good.
Okay.
Very good. It's not what I expected. Like I knew it was gonna go through the history of crack and things like that, but it also within it follows like I think 4 people, like, real life stories from when they were kids and just like their lives and how affected it and then like where they are today. So that was pretty cool that each of those people had throughout the book, he would go back and forth between like, spitting facts about it, presidents, all their impact of crack, especially on our community, and then like weave in their stories in between. So it was kind of cool. Like you get engrossed in wanting to follow these stories of each of these.
Warmth of other sunish. Warmth of other sons ish.
Right. I was going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did that. Yeah. And it was 4
sometimes
people too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, sometimes I think like as soon as soon as I close the book, I go straight to my phone and write a review. And I think like sometimes I then look at my review a few hours later and I think maybe I was a little harsh and stuff. And I feel like when you've closed the book, you're still like in the mindset of the book and you're not in the real world. And you don't think of other people's feelings. And then like a few hours later, when you're like, back in reality and you look at your comment and you think, maybe I was a little harsh on that one. And multiple times I've been reading the book and I put a comment and then I've like deleted it after because it's just like, sometimes you think like maybe I was a little harsh on that one. You know what I mean?
Yep. And also like it depends on the mood when I read certain things, right? Because there was a book, I think the first time I read Their Eyes Are Watching God, I had read it after something that I absolutely like, I don't even know what it was. It could have been Crazy Rich Asians or something like that. Like the timing of it, just coming off the high of reading and loving Crazy Rich Asians and then going to that, it was just like I didn't understand it. And I don't think I was mature enough in my reading journey to appreciate it, but I just remember reading it the first time and I was like, I don't get the hype. But then when we read it again last year, I was like, wait a minute, I think I matured in my reading. But yeah, sometimes the timing is just not good for when you read it, or depending on what you read just before it impacts the way you might feel about it.
Yeah, that's what I tell people. I'm like, go back to it. Books have seasons. You may not be ready for it now or not into it now, but later on it might come back around to you.
Yep.
I started this one twice because I was just too preoccupied the first time I started it. And I was like, I don't even know what's going on. Who are these people? I started over and I was like, okay, this is cute.
I was like,
I was just too preoccupied the first time I started it.
Yeah. I was thinking I might have to reread it because I read it all through Christmas and like finished it from beginning to end because it was so short. But I was like, am I gonna have to reread this again so I know what the heck I'm talking about on book chat?
Oh, I finished it yesterday. I
write clip notes. Yeah. I saved it. Any other thoughts?
Just cute. I liked the prayers in it.
Yes.
I was
Same.
like, oh, okay.
Pleasantly surprised. Like I said, this is my first Christian fiction book.
Yeah, mine too. It's like, okay.
Because I mean, I guess it's a genre that I've like intentionally stayed away from because I prefer my books to have a little more spice. So I didn't even know that I was walking in when I, picked it up, but I was actually pleasantly surprised. It wasn't that bad. So I feel like if they were like that, I could read more Christian fiction, but I'm a Christian myself, but I don't want someone like shoving it down my throat either. You know what I'm saying? Throughout the book. So if that makes sense.
It does.
It makes sense. You gotta pick up the right
I don't read
one.
Christian fiction.
You said you don't?
You have to pick up the right one. I used to read them a lot, and some of them are really, really good. But then, when you move on to other genres, I don't have a problem going back to it, but some of them are really good.
Yeah,
You know?
You get that spice. Yeah.
that's what I said. I like my books with a little bit of spice
Yeah.
in them. So
Yeah, as
I
a
read
Christian, I don't read Christian fiction because
Mm.
I like more spice.
I read one of those Lisa Wingate books. And it was, I mean, it wasn't a romance, it was just fiction, but I think she's considered at least G-rated fiction, I guess, maybe. But it was a good story. And I kept saying in the story, this lady is passing, this lady is passing. I can't remember what it was, but I kept saying like there was some backstory too. But it was pretty good. It kept me engaged.
Was she passing?
I can't remember, but I'm like, God, I gotta go. It was
Oh.
called I gotta find the name. It was a good book though. I'll find the name of it and put it in the chat.
Okay.
any other final thoughts before we just get into the chat?
Yeah, I got one. I didn't really enjoy the book. I just didn't enjoy it. I don't know why. There was just something about it that just I'm not really
Did you
into
read the
romantic
book?
books.
Did you
Pardon?
read the book, Evan?
Yes, I did.
What didn't you like about it?
Yeah, like what parts did weren't like to your standards?
I don't really like romantic books in general. So I don't know. This just wasn't quite for me.
I was gonna say sometimes the genre, you know,
It's
might
not
be
your
a
thing.
turn-off.
Thanks.
I used to always say that I do not like romance book, but you picked a couple that were pretty good. So I have to change that.
Made you a believer. Yes.
I know I'm not a big fan of romance, and I was doing these things where I was like, okay, which one is the top? Because I read this book called Waiting on Wendy, and
Hey.
that romance book was just like one of my favorites. And I was like, dang, I have to pick one. I could have did Christian romance and then regular contemporary romance.
Yes.
I think I've kind of got a pattern down now where I know like what our favorite authors are and which ones we'll enjoy. So I kind of stick to those kind of things.
Hey,
Like
this-
Tia Williams is going to be a hit. Christina
louder.
Holmes is like, I'm drawing a blank right now, but you know, there's a few that we know we absolutely love.
Y'all are laughing, you're not being funny.
Should have Bernadette.
Uh,
Can you
Bye.
are you able
Bye.
to drop them?
Bye-bye.
You're out.
Lord have mercy. Okay, that was.
You know they don't
Do you
read
know how
Christian
much of
fiction.
a nerd you gotta be?
Look,
Listen, we're all
book
just.
club meeting.
I had to get
Like,
off
of
it.
all the things you could have
Dying.
crashed, you
Right.
crashed a book club meeting and then giggled because you made fart noises.
Right.
They get beat up.
Right.
They
They
definitely
don't
get beat
probably
up in
pretty
school.
young. They
That
probably
had
really
she as a
young.
boy.
Where is your mama?
It was both of them too, because the Evan person
Right.
was gone too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some little
They were friends.
trolls. They just
friends.
looked up
They're
a
friends.
synopsis of the book so that they
Yeah.
can comment here and there, and they were
Yeah.
paying to make their fart noises.
Yeah, well, Jess,
How
when Evan Barr started talking, your face, how deep voice was gone.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. You
And
guys.
then Erica was like,
Got
Erica
some
called it.
read the
She's like,
book girl magic. Girl.
Erica
get
called
straight
it. Was
off
like,
camera.
did
I
you
was
even
like-
read the book?
I
That's why
started
these
to-
kids,
see,
they
I
got to
told
go
you
back to
that's why-
school with people like Talisha. Talisha, you gone back to school now and get your feet.
We back.
Yeah, that's why I don't teach anymore, because you see how fast I lost it.
Erica and Bernadette were like, "Did you read it? Did you read it?"
Oh yeah, they was going off. I'm gonna have to go when I post this on YouTube. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this because I know I was trying to hold.
You were trying to be
God.
Like, do not
I had to go pour a glass of wine. I was like, I cannot.
Oh my
I
god.
think that's only happened one other time, Renee. Remember the guy came off camera?
Yes. Well, and you know that, so that was my fault. I posted the actual Zoom link instead of just like normally I'll put it in a graphic or whatever, but I posted the actual Zoom link to Twitter. And so it was like all of these like people from foreign countries started coming in our chat, and it was just like a ton of them. And so they were coming in and like spamming our shit. So I've learned not to actually put the Zoom link in places outside of our group, our private group. And so like if I do post it on, you know, Instagram or whatever, I put the username and the code. But I was just like, I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out where that came from, because I think I posted to Threads today, which isn't something I normally post to. And I didn't post the link, I just posted the thing, but I'm guessing that that's maybe where it came from, because I'm like, I
mean,
post Instagram all the time, never have
Because
problems.
when that one started talking, I was like, who the white? Somebody white. Who is the white?
I was like, they sound mighty young. Who is this person?
Yes. I went to the group to see if they were in the group because I'm like, this name doesn't look familiar.
I saw those two names. I was like, I've never seen them in the group. What?
Right, ever. And I'm sitting here on Facebook, like trying to look up the names, going in the group. Like, who the hell are these people?
As soon as Chris started talking, I was like, that's a kid. And then when Evan popped up, I said, they are a duo.
Yes.
They need to go.
I didn't even
Erica and
like,
Bernadette said, did you read it? I had to hold my breath.
As soon as Erica said that, I turned my camera off because I'm
Erica was not here for the shenanigans. Did you read the book?
It was when Bernadette went to straight black mama mode. She was like, you're
Yes.
laughing, but you're not
That was the
funny.
best.
Yes.
You're laughing, but you're not saying anything funny.
I said, oh, Lord.
No, I am crying, laughing right now. Oh my God.
I think it was a good laugh to start 2024.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
crying.
2024 came with a bang.
All right.
Didn't it?
I mean, but all the things is, you know, we used to play those little silly pranks, you know, is your refrigerator running? You
better go catch it.
They have so much that they can entertain themselves with. Why this?
Right. Go on somebody's TikTok live. Like, leave us the hell alone. Oh,
They may
man.
have been looking for a sugar mama.
Right. And thinking back to all the stuff that we talked about. That damn Evan.
Now they gotta go Google what a sugar baby is.
Evan, it just really wasn't my type of book.
I don't like romance.
And Jess, your face when that person opened their mouth, I looked at Jess's face and I was like, oh my God, I gotta. As the host, I have to keep a serious face, but I'm looking at Jess and I'm like, oh my God.
Because I can't. I went. I know I did. I know I did.
Crying.
Oh gosh.
I don't
Well,
think
that
I've
was
been
fun.
crying laughed on a chat before. This is hilarious.
Stay out of grown folks' business.
Right. I know I'm trying to find where they came from, because I'm like, I need to figure out what platform we're gonna not Threads.
It probably was Threads if you haven't
Has
posted
to
in
be.
Threads before.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
Lord.
Oh, Chris, Evan and Chris.
The Prayer Box. That was the name of the book by Lisa Wingate. Sorry, I've been looking all this time like,
The
what was the
prayer
name of that book?
box.
got a little sidetracked.
It was good.
The prayer box.
So how many books did everybody finish with for 2023?
100.
I finished like 68.
116.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say my number in this room.
Your
Well,
number
it
is
depends on
just
what
as
your
good.
goal was.
Huh?
It depends on what your goal was.
Oh no, my goal was 24 and I did 58, so I was proud.
Well, that's good. What do you mean?
Yeah,
That's
I was
good?
proud. I just knew. I was like,
24
there is
is
no
good.
way I'm gonna read more than 2 books a month. I was giving each of my book clubs a read 24, but I did way better.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a slower year for me, but I don't know.
I don't know if I'll do 100 this year. I did 100. I hit 92 last year, and then I said, well, I might as well do 100.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'll do that this year.
86 was the high. Before that, it was 58. So I actually, but these past like 2 months, and plus, like I got hurt. I was on medical restriction and stuff like that. So I just had nothing but time to like sit and read and read and read and read. And there was times where I wouldn't even turn on the TV till like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which I normally do it earlier in the day. So taking TV out, and I know Erica does that too, is like a huge component in why you're able to read so much, is not having that distraction.
I can't set a goal as high as y'all just talked about. I want to make my goal for sure.
But
So you put it down a little bit.
I usually set mine to 12. So that way, because I at least am reading a minimum of the book club reads, and then whatever happens, happens. This year, I decided to be bold, and I actually set it to 40. This is my year of 40. I'm turning 40 next month. So I was like, at least I can aspire to do 40 books. Some
I
of y'all
did 40 too.
You did 40?
Also.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yep. So that's my goal.
Mine is set at 40.
Bernadette, you read some good books too.
Yeah.
You
I
always pick
try
some good
to.
books.
A lot of the books I read are book club picks. So I'm
Mhm.
like in at least 4 that I have to read those
Oh my God.
books.
Mm.
How
Yeah.
do you keep up?
How to what?
How do you keep up?
I don't have a job, so
That must be nice. I aspire to be that way one day. Not anytime soon. I
yeah.
need my job now for retirement
Yeah.
and stuff.
So I got
I hope
plenty
you
of
get there.
time to read.
Yeah. So are all your book clubs virtual, or do they meet in person, or how do you conduct?
Well, I belong to one well, since the pandemic, one of them didn't go back, so it's still online. I have a Caribbean book club where the woman is in with they're based in like Tobago, something like that.
It sounds like what's his name? Book of Sense?
Book of Sense, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's one of them. Yeah. So it's like 4
Pausing
of
for a
them.
second. There's somebody trying to get in. Well, maybe they're not. There's someone trying to get in here. So we're just gonna keep an eye on people coming in here, just to give y'all the warning that I'm letting somebody else in here. So we'll see. But
What's the name?
Rachel. That's why I'm letting it in, because it's not a dude's name.
You were like, turn your camera on, Rachel.
Right.
Jessica, you said the name of that book.
Let me see you.
You
But
said
she
that
just
the name of
left.
that book was a prayer.
The
Jessica?
prayer, the prayer
A
box.
prayer
I'll put
box?
the link.
Okay.
I'll put the link in. I found it on Amazon.
Okay.
You heard me, Renee?
What'd you
That
say?
person just left. They were in the group and they left. They've been in here the whole time.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Because it just
Yeah.
asked me to admit it. That's okay.
Like it just popped up on my screen that they
Yeah,
just
it's
left
Rachel.
like 2 minutes ago.
Rachel.
Oh, wow.
Rachel Maxwell, I guess.
Oh, there's Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow my computer went out. So
Oh, Rachel, look good after those trolls.
Yeah, she
I
was
know.
there.
Oh, I was like, okay,
She was
never
there.
mind. Because I'm like, yeah, you have been in here. I'm like, wait a minute. Sorry, Rachel.
No, that's
I was
okay.
like, I just saw it come back in, and I'm like, wait a minute. So now I'm sketched about everybody.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm like, wait a minute. Sorry,
she
Rachel.
might not let me back in.
No, but I wanted to let everybody else know that whoever this is, the shenanigans, got to be on the lookout. Not gonna lie, that was kind of fun entertainment though. So gave us a good cry and a good laugh. No, but that's awesome, Bernadette, that you are, participating in so many book clubs. That's really cool. I like Book of Sins, and I'll be going to.
I love her books. Yeah.
Yeah, she has some good selections. I'll be going to Trinidad and Tobago next month for the first time.
What is it?
All right.
Book of Sins, CINZ is how she spells her name. That's her. She has a blog and I think her bookstagram is Book of Sins.
Yeah.
But she lives in the Caribbean. I don't know if is she from the Caribbean? Wherever she was living, she wasn't from there, but she's like island hop.
She's living where you said you're going next month. But and Tobago. What is that? Something in Tobago? She lives there.
Yeah, Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah. Now she's a traveler. She be traveling all over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She was somewhere like recently where she was just going to different places.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta find it because she was posting to I think Twitter.
I think she went to Africa.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, she's on let me see if I can find her. Yeah, but she usually has some good selections if you want to read Caribbean.
And I really like the Caribbean books.
Mm-hmm. I do too. It's like I don't think we've read maybe a couple. It's been a minute though. But yeah,
My
she's got
book club is reading, my local book club is reading Black Cake this month. So I'm like, okay, now I've read it, I've watched the show. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and just read it again and see what because
yeah.
I enjoyed it. I'll read it again. I mean, we read it September, October,
Oh,
August,
it was a couple months ago. Uh-huh.
but I'll read it this close in proximity because I enjoyed it that much.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it
good.
was good. I
Show was
enjoyed it.
really good too.
Yeah,
And I enjoyed the show because I kept trying to search in my memory. Did that happen like that in the book? And I couldn't
That's why I want
remember
to
certain
reread the
parts.
book. Yeah, that was good.
What else are y'all reading right now?
Right now I'm reading King A Life.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Okay.
King A
Somebody
Life.
else was reading that and posting it and said it was good.
Sharon.
Because
Tupac, the Tupac
they-
author.
It's so good.
It's good. I got like 200 pages left.
What is
and
that?
It's so good.
Tupac's the biography.
Oh, I have that on Libby. I need to hurry and read
The
that.
authorized biography.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. I think
Really good.
it's like a 50. I actually use that as my credit for Spotify. It's 15 hours long, and I read it in 2 days.
What is it called?
It's the authorized biography. It's called Tupac Shakur, the authorized biography, and it's by a woman. And it's
Sherry. No, I just made that up.
Stacy.
No, Stacy. Yeah,
Stacy Robinson.
Well,
And I
I
love how
just have a question. Who authorized it?
His mom.
Every time I see that, I keep wondering. I'm like, I would assume that she was writing it before his mom passed, but then I'm like, well, is it his sister? Like,
She
because that
did.
matters to me.
Yeah.
And I
She
was
talks
like, when
about
they keep
it.
saying authorized, I'm like, by who?
They talk about it early in the book. I think she had started writing this book like years ago, and then it was like put to a stop.
Yep, it got shelved. And then right before the mama passed away, she asked her to bring it back up and write it again.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of what's being told in the stories are like accounts of like, best friends, siblings, cousins. Like there's a lot of pieces, but his mom had a lot to say.
I love how it started off telling her story and then how it got to him and with her and the daddy. I was like, ooh, wee.
So it sounds like it follows the format of the documentary that came out over the summer, because the documentary over the summer was about a lot about his mom too.
Wow.
Then it kind of
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Well, I'm glad somebody professional wrote it, because I don't know if any of y'all ever read Fife's mother's book that she wrote after he died. That book was so awful. And I'm a huge Tribe Called Quest fan. Fife. Five-footer. His mother wrote a book. It was so bad. I felt like she wrote it with a crayon. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so sad. Like, it just, she would start, like, sometimes she would just throw in a poem she wrote, and then the next page she would tell a story, and then she kept telling the same stories. It was so bad.
He told you write that book.
Right.
She better borrow her crayon.
Sounds like
I
a
was
mess.
so sad because I am a Tribe Called Quest fan, and Fife is my favorite. And I just felt like if she would have got the right person to form the book for her, it would have been beautiful, because there was some interesting things in there about him, but she was all over the place. It was so cringy and awful.
This one was really well written. Like, I feel like we got to know a lot about him from beginning to end, from birth, all of the things his mom dealt with, the people, just teachers that influenced him, and just making it in the industry, and just everything. Like, you really got to.
I'm at the part, and I did not know this, and my mom is like a super huge Tupac fan, that he almost gave up his rap career to go to Atlanta to lead the new Black Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't want him to give his career up, so they hurried up and forced him on the road so that he wouldn't go to Atlanta. I was like, what? That's crazy. It's a good book. I like it. I'm gonna buy it. I got it on Libby. Because I wanted to read it first. Because like Erica said, when I saw authorized, I was like, now who authorized this?
Yeah.
So I wanted to read it first. And now I'm like, yep, I got to buy this.
It was really good. It sucked me in from the beginning. Like I said, I was reading it around the clock and finished it in 2 days, and it's long. It's like 600, and I think it was my longest Goodreads. It's I mean, a lot of it's like, fluff in the back where it's just resources and things like that, but it was like 691 pages.
Well, I just put it on my Kindle because I have it for 10 more days. I'm like, let me hurry up and read this.
You can finish it in that time. You'll be engrossed in it that you'll
Yeah.
finish it. And I used my Spotify 15 hours. I was like, oh, this is perfect. It's like 14 hours and something. I was like, I can use this as my monthly credit, Audible credit.
When I was
I
in San
definitely have to
Francisco,
read it.
our bus driver, like we did the whole Napa, Sausalito, whatever, and our bus driver was awful. But then he started talking about Tupac. At some point, we were like, "What?" But he was like, "You see that house over there? That's Tupac Shakur's family. They live over there. They're great to the community and blah blah blah." But he was just random with stuff. Like he started talking about Robert Williams. Then he started talking about Bill Cosby, and we were like, "What are you doing?" So the Tupac moment was lost because he was so random. So by that point, I was just sick of him. So I almost missed where he was pointing to, saying that's where his family lived, and I didn't know whether to believe it or not because all the other random stuff he was saying.
Right.
My boss was like, "Is it not time for a cough drop? Why is he still talking?" It was awful, y'all. It was bad, but.
Saying that the back of the book had a lot of like references. I read that book about Nipsey Hussle a few years ago, and that's how that book was. There were so many references and credits, which I can appreciate people who do the work, but it was like a big chunk in the back of just references and credits. I didn't know anything about Nipsey Hussle, so I enjoyed learning about him.
It's a bunch of pages in the Tupac book that are pictures too. And they're like pictures I've never seen before. Like they're not the same recycled pictures that we see all the time. Like, and that's the part that's like, oh, I really got to buy this. But that's a nice piece to it too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Like you said, the pictures and things. Oh, and I was going to say, and I'm going to go grab the book in a second just so I can see if I can flip to it. But there's also like actual pages of lyrics and things from his diary that he wrote. So you get to see that in the book and see like there was a poem or something that he wrote about Jada. Like there's just a lot of stuff in the book. It's actually really cool. I'm going to go grab it real quick.
That was a good read.
I was gonna say that back on Jada now, whatever that outfit was she posted yesterday. I'm like, oh, good, leave that girl alone.
I did think it was Fat Joe when I was scrolling by.
Oh God.
I didn't know until I saw it later. No, she doesn't look bad. It's just the little shiny
got on like a
bald head and the
puffy-
glasses.
Uh-huh.
It was
Is
like
her head shaved?
that. It
Well,
looked
you know,
like there's a light over her, so it looked like a shiny bald head.
Oh, okay.
I see why you thought it was Fat Joe.
I was
Got
like,
the
Fat
aviator
Joe
shade.
been
Yeah.
in the gym.
Yeah, somebody
Yeah.
posted a meme.
I see why.
Okay, now Lala wants to enter the waiting room. Hang on a second.
Who?
Lala. We about to see.
I feel like
anyways,
Cotton was
this
in
is the
here
book
too.
for those of y'all.
So somebody buy that for me for my birthday. My birthday is June 16th. The same as Tupac. So one of y'all or all of y'all crowdfund it. Buy that for me and send it to me for me and Pac's birthday.
$1.
Yeah.
I might have to get the real one, not this.
You see, like I feel like I need that. So y'all
I
get the
need
coins
that.
together.
Let me see. And then like you can see,
it's not in that Barnes and Noble sale.
Like there's poetry and things that he wrote. Oh, there was a lot of play. There was a play or something that he, his acting career and plays and stuff that he was into. Like the playbill is in there and things like that. It's really cool.
They had it for like it was like 7% off. It was really weird.
I'm about to buy that one.
Oh wow.
Oh, look, I flipped right to it, the Jada page where he wrote his but there's all kinds of stuff within. I think there's even stuff that his mom wrote too. In here, but yeah, it's really cool.
I was shocked at that because I didn't know he dated Yo-Yo, and they talk about that relationship.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I read it either.
Who does the Audible? Is it the author that does it?
It's a guy that's reading it, right? Nicole?
I didn't do the Audible.
It's a guy.
Yeah, it's a guy reading it.
I
But
think it's Dion Graham,
let me look. Let me look it up.
who is one of my favorites.
Honey, Adam is my favorite for everything.
Yeah, no, right?
I just want him to read all the books.
Jamal Joseph is who narrates.
Oh, that's not
Robinson.
Dion.
Yeah, Jamal Joseph. It's good.
Yeah, I might have to get because I'm trying to look and my eyes don't work like they used to. I'm trying to look on the Kindle at the handwritten pages. I'm like, I can't see that.
Yeah, I see now. I'm gonna have to buy it too.
It's
the glare.
Yeah, you can see it better
Not
on your
the
phone.
glare.
If you open it in Kindle on your phone, the app, you can see
Oh, you can see it better. Okay.
better than you can on the e-reader because I had
Or
to do
maybe
that.
on my iPad. Okay.
Yeah. If I wanted to see it, I had to go to the app and I was like, okay, this makes sense. It'll ask you to like open it up or whatever. But yeah, it's cool. It's got like little images and things that he wrote and just yeah.
Well, I can't wait for y'all to buy it for my birthday. Thank you in advance.
We'll see what you
I
buy
was
for my
so
birthday first.
excited
It's coming up.
on
Look,
my
Jess, me and
40th
Jess.
because his movie
Jess is
came
a
out
month
on
away,
my 40th
honey.
birthday.
Exactly a month away.
Exactly. We don't have book club on my birthday this year, so on Saturday.
Was that what we did?
It's on Saturday this year. I'll be in Tampa.
Didn't we do Instagram on your birthday that day we did Sister Soldier?
Was it my birthday?
It wasn't Life After Death. It was the actual
Yeah, when we're at
coldest winter ever. But
it
we
might
did
have
that.
been right. It might have been like the day before.
Yeah. Oh no, that was a different chat.
No,
that was the same time because that's the surprise party afterwards, right?
It wasn't that one.
Oh, never mind.
No, surprise party was 40.
Been around for a while. Years ago, I'm like, look, mixing them all together. Anywho, that name we don't speak of.
Nope.
And Sister Soldier. Anybody else have any good reads?
I read yesterday. I did the little quick reads first. My mom had the Maya Angelou amazing piece like on her coffee table Sunday, or when was New Year's, Monday. So I just picked that up and read it. But then I read another like short called The New Year's Poem.
I've downloaded it because I think it's on.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was twisty. It was good though. I was like, I need more.
I saw that you said that you were listening to it on the way home.
I needed more. Like I'm like, I need this to be a full book. I keep going.
Yeah, because it's like 56 pages. I think I might that up.
But it was quick. It was quick. It was good though. I mean, it was an interesting premise that I felt like could be drug out a little bit more.
Wow.
That David, was it David Hurst?
Yeah,
I didn't like it. I saw somebody in the group was like, "Y'all gotta read this," and I don't normally
Black girls read too.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw it in there," and it didn't work for me. It was a 2-star read for me. And then I saw somebody today gave it 5 stars, and I was like, "Oh,
now
wow.
you give it 5."
It just made me mad.
You needed more?
No,
Yes, you tell them.
I didn't need more. I needed it to make more sense. Not make more sense, but it's like it was such a reach. I'm like, come on now. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Like it was, I kept saying that. And I just kept getting more and more upset.
Jess, you tell them what you discovered yesterday about the women of Brewster Place?
That there's a man of Brewster Place. Did y'all know that?
No.
I've
heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
I ordered it. I'm like, I gotta read this.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And they talk about basil in it. I was like, oh, I gotta read this.
Yeah,
Because I can't stand basil.
Me neither.
I gotta read this.
Wait, I have a funny story to tell you. So we went out for my cousin's birthday for New Year's Eve, and we were like, oh, let's all go see Color Purple. And her best friend is 47 years old. She looks at me and goes, I've never seen the original Color Purple. I almost slapped her out her chair. I said, "Are you sure you Black?" Never seen it. Never read it. I was shocked, like baffled. I said, "It come on every year on Thanksgiving. You ain't like." I was like, "No, you can't come to the musical because I'm gonna want to sing, and you're gonna need to know why I'm singing, and I don't need you asking me questions."
Oh boy.
It was so good.
I guess that is kind of surprising. I know that when I first saw The Color Purple, I was a child, and so I was traumatized. So when it came on every year, I would never watch it because I was like, that movie traumatized me. But I mean, I read the book in college, and then I read it. I've seen it as an adult.
I went to see it too, and I was young, but I distinctly remember being in the theater seeing that movie with my aunt that just passed away. And I was like, why did y'all let me see this? And I was traumatized by the facial scarring scenes. Like that was worse. I don't think I understood the rest of it enough, but those scenes like terrified me. And then I just kept watching it. But I remember being a little girl seeing that movie in the theater because my auntie popped me about something. I don't remember. I was at probably cut because I was like 5. I'm like, why y'all got me in here? I don't see
Right. It's weird because who was it that you guys said that he was talking about the kiss? And I'm like, I don't even remember the kiss as a child. I remember Raven. Yeah, but it's like all the stuff I remember as a child, I don't even remember the kiss. Like
I remember
Me either.
that.
I don't remember it either.
Yeah, I remember that because it was
I
like the
remember the
first time someone actually showed Celie like real affection, where they were
Oh,
into her.
silly and
and Suge.
and Sub.
Sug,
Okay, yeah.
yeah.
But it was a little teeny kiss.
Yeah, it was just a little
Yeah,
peck.
it
It
wasn't
wasn't
like
like
in
in the book.
or this version either.
In the book, they were in a whole relationship.
They were.
I know. I was like,
Getting mad when she was
people.
going and being with Albert and all
Yes.
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But okay, so I don't remember from the original, and I should have watched it again the other day. My mama said Mr. went to the immigration office in the original. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
yep,
I
I did.
He was sitting outside the office in the original too.
I do not remember that. And I have watched that movie 150 million times.
I was
That's
trying to
probably when I
remember
get
that.
up to
but I
go do
thought this-
something.
There was no dialogue. There was no dialogue in that scene, but you just
That's
saw
what
him
Mama
go.
said. And I was like, Mama, you're thinking of that from the book. That was not in. She was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
She was right. I should have known my mom was right.
He went in that chicken coop. He went in that coop and got the box with the money in it.
Okay, I remember that. Okay.
And then he's just like sitting outside of the office.
Maybe I just didn't pay attention to what he was sitting outside. Well, this one he's got the dialogue and the whole. Okay. Oh, sorry for anybody who hadn't seen it yet.
I'm about to shush y'all in just a second.
This-
Okay,
sorry,
that's enough
Keela.
of that.
Sorry. You know enough of it. It's not gonna spoil it, I
I
promise.
know. I'm just messing.
So I'm also reading How to Say Babylon, and with that, I gotta go. Nice meeting. Huh?
I said bye.
Have a good night, bros.
Thanks for joining us.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Asia, you read that too, huh?
I did.
Everybody says it's so
I
good.
listened to it.
Wait, what is
What's it called?
How to Say Babylon.
Yeah, everybody says it's so good.
It's on my list.
Same.
This
So, well, hopefully I'll get to it this year. Yeah, I actually have a copy.
Yeah, that's it.
I need to read it.
I'm trying to think of an author to compare her to because she writes poetry. So you know how that translates when that's her traditional mean of writing.
Treadaway, Natasha,
Yes.
Memorial Drive.
Yes. So that kind of think about that same type of writing style.
That was good.
I'm trying not to buy any books, y'all. I really am.
I would like to not buy books,
Right.
but it's not gonna happen. I don't know. Like I just did a blog post today with things that I want to read, and there's so much stuff coming out in January. It's not gonna be possible. There's so.
I'm like, I just want to use my lap, but I want that cooking, the ghosts, the cooking kitchens, or the ghost
cover of that. Oh
yeah, I want that one. But I'm like, maybe I'll limit myself to one a month and try to use the library more.
There's no way. The
like,
amount
I
of stuff that
can't.
I posted today most of the books that I posted today are there's like 4 of them at least coming out in January.
Oh,
Tabitha book.
oh shoot.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
I quit already. Okay.
Hold on, because the Kylie
Are
Reed
you
book.
gonna get the Common one? This one with Common.
Yeah, I saw that. His first book was just okay for me. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was about to say I didn't finish
I
his
ain't
first
really
book.
I read it during the pandemic and I really wasn't feeling it. So I don't think I'll be buying his again. I'm like, what else do you have to say?
I
And
liked
I
it, but
really
I don't know
can't
if I
take him
liked it enough to
seriously.
read another one.
He's like a
Yeah.
male Lori Harvey. Like I can't really take you seriously when you're talking about love. Like you're in a new relationship every year. Like
Mm-hmm.
so I can't. But there's a lot of stuff coming out this month alone that there's probably at least 4 books that I'm gonna buy. And even the beginning of February too. There Tia Williams book comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I posted a bunch and all of them are like
Yeah,
pretty much
you gotta come
I
up
need
off
the
them
writers to go
coins.
on strike, just like the TV, so I can catch up.
So we can catch up. Right.
just take a pause for 1 year. Like seriously. There's always so much good stuff.
I had paused my book of the month, and then that book, the Reese's Book Club, picked it as like the first lie or something. I was like, oh, it's the book. Okay, y'all already charged me. Let me go ahead and get this book. Or I had a credit or whatever.
Yeah, that Kwame Alexander anthology coming out this month.
Oh, the HBCU book comes out this month too, I think.
Wow.
Oh, you know I gotta buy that.
Exactly.
Damn.
Tabitha's book comes out January 30th. That cookbook comes out January 23rd. There's another one called Madness, Race and Insanity in a Jim Crow Asylum. That comes out January 23rd.
These are on your blog today? I haven't read it yet.
Yeah. Come and Get It by Kylie Reed, January 30th. The Love Songs for Ricky Wilde is February 3rd. That's all I have. But yeah, everything that I posted is pretty much January, February, March. A lot of good books. And I'm like, that's only the first quarter of the year. Like, I'm gonna have a tough time keeping up with stuff.
Right. I do want Praise Song for the Kitchen Ghost, so I've been looking at that one.
Yeah, I'm definitely buying a hard copy of that. Like,
And then Crystal, that's not her name. Shoot, Michelle Norris has that book coming out. She sent like a discount code if you buy it off of Barnes and Noble. Wait, what's the name of this book?
Oh yeah, Kim was telling me
Our
about
Hidden Conversations.
oh yeah.
What Americans really think about race and identity. I was like, yeah, I kind of need to read that one for work.
So Michelle Norris is going to be for Atlanta people, the Atlanta History Center in February. Me and Kim were talking
February
about.
what?
I don't know the date off the top of my head. I'll shoot it to you in a message though.
Thank you.
Or I might still have it pulled up. Let me see.
A lot of good stuff coming.
Yeah. They won't go on strike. Oh well.
Right. Like, hoping that all that I collect I can pass on to my kids. That's about.
It's February 20th, Renee. You gonna be here?
Yep, it's just before I leave. 3 days before I leave. Might be able to do that. Yep. Interesting. Any last thoughts before we wrap it up? Nicole, I know you were talking about Real Housewives, Salt Lake City. I don't know, did any of y'all watch that?
Not that one.
Not that one.
That one is. It was explosive last night.
It was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was explosive. Like, I don't know. It's like basically one of the girls, she's new this season. She was an assistant of Jen Shaw. I don't know if y'all know who Jen Shaw is. If you follow Bravo, you probably know who Jen Shaw is. She's in jail.
jail. I was about to say she went to jail. Like
Jail
I
right
watched the first season.
So this girl, Monica,
Salt Lake City.
Monica was her assistant, and she's like infiltrated the group, and so she's become real cool. They're actually on a trip to Bermuda for her birthday, and they find out that she is a person that has had this like a hidden account or this anonymous account that's been trashing them for years and dragging their families, and they find this out at the trip, and they confront her at the last dinner before they go. And I'm telling you, it was explosive. It was
I'm gonna just go watch the episode.
Right, go watch, just watch the episode and
episode.
just watch. One of them finds out the info. She puts all of her little friends on, and she was like, "I'm gonna confront her at dinner," and they just go on and on and on, and it was good. So I can't wait till the reunion.
Yeah, I've never seen a new person bring it that good. Like their first season, like I don't think they're gonna be able to film with her ever again, but she will never be forgotten because she brought it.
Yeah. I'm like, how you in these girls' faces being friends with them? They have this, they plan this whole trip to Bermuda for you because your family's from Bermuda.
Yeah.
And you over here been like posting garbage about them anonymously on this account.
I looked on the account and it's the videos of her in disguises riding past their houses, like taking pictures, going through their trash for information. I was like,
wow,
she's crazy.
I'm about to go watch Beverly Hills. Garcelle's getting on my nerves.
Really? I tried to watch it. I got
She plays the victim. It's always like, I get it, but it's always the race card. And it's always like, I'm Black and you're speaking to me that way. It's just, it's
yeah.
The last time she did it recently, it's just like, it really wasn't even that. She's just asking you a question about something and you're making it into
something bigger than what it needed to be. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Garcelle anymore. I'm just like, and who she hangs with, I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I tried to watch it because she was on it.
Yeah.
I was after a while I was like, I'm gonna go back to Atlanta and Potomac and
yeah.
This might be the only show.
Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining us. It's been a good one. January's read is The Garden Within by Dr. Nada Phillips. I'm excited for that one. I think it's going to be a good new year read to get us going. So we'll see y'all in a month. Thanks for the laughs, the cries, all of it. This was probably the most entertaining chat we've had yet.
Listen, Lala, is Lala still here? Oh, she's gone. I was about to say, girl, you were lucky.
Listen, this is going on YouTube immediately so I can go back and watch like the first 30 minutes because our faces.
I don't even want to see my face.
When I tell you I was trying so hard not to laugh, I was just, I was in tears.
I am that friend that you do not want to sit by.
Oh, as soon as Evan
to laugh.
I really didn't like the book. It just was like, I couldn't. I was crying. Jess's face, that's
my bad, y'all. I do not have a poker face at all.
You know, because we're in a world right now in a time where stuff is so sensitive. So if someone's transgender, you don't want to offend, right? So it could have been a situation, and that's why I was like, is this? And then, we figured it out, but it was just kind of like, you don't want to offend people because whatever. But yeah, it's just, that was very interesting.
Uh-huh.
I even had Amy in my DMs like, what the hell is happening right now?
Happy New Year.
Hilarious. All right, well, y'all have a great rest of the night, and I'll see you in a month.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.